Hi, this is Frank with a frank opinion. I titled today's video, McClennand, Giuliani, Trump, and Mueller. Who's McClennand? As a sneaky way of getting you to click on the video and watch some or hopefully all of it. Who was John C. McClennand? John C. McClennand was a famous Harvard professor. He was in the psychology department for over 30 years. Wrote many articles and research papers studying the qualities, personality traits of effective managers and therefore effective elected officials. And so often we are wondering why government achieves so little when there is so much that needs to be achieved. And he came up with early on a theory of motivation that includes three parts for judging and looking at whether somebody is going to be effective or not, or whether they have been effective. In fact, some of this work has been used to analyze the effectiveness of presidents all the way from George Washington to Ronald Reagan. There may have been some work that has been done after that, but I haven't come across it yet. So what did John McClennand say? He said that the human motivation factors for effective leaders and managers are three. The first, power. The effective manager has to want to have power. But what McClennand said is, in order to be effective, he or she cannot be only wanting power for their own personal aggrandizement, power for power's sake, but they want institutional power, whether it be in a private company, whether it be in a nonprofit, whether it be in elected office, in order to be able to influence people, staff and others, to accomplish institutional goals. And you can kind of equate that with common good goals. So, the first one is, yes, he or she, to be effective manager, has to want power. But it's not personal power. It's power within the institution or the organization in order to achieve organizational, institutional, or governmental goals in this case. The second one was achievement. The person, he or she, has to want to achieve, but not in terms of personal achievement, being in the paper constantly getting accolades and recognition. No, they have to want to achieve organizational goals and take satisfaction from achieving organizational goals rather than personal goals. They will feel satisfied, they will feel that they've accomplished something, but only if they have achieved organizational goals. They may be very active in setting forth those organizational goals, of influencing the decisions that lead to the goals being set. But they're not getting all excited about personal aggrandizement. They are getting excited about achieving organizational goals. The third is affiliation, the need to be liked or loved. And McClennand offered that in order to be an effective leader, you can't really want to be loved and liked and good person, good guy, good gal all the time, because you have work to do in influencing personnel, staff, your citizenry, your constituents to accomplish organizational goals. So an effective leader is generally one that is low on affiliation needs, low on the need to be constantly loved and liked and have people express that in so many ways, as opposed to a high need for that. That brings me to Rudolph Giuliani, Trump, Robert Mueller. I was interviewed for a high-level job in the Child Welfare Administration shortly after being let go as Deputy Commissioner for Services and Community Development within the Mario Cuomo administration. I was what I referred to kiddingly as Pataki'd. A Republican governor, George Pataki, came in, and all the program deputy commissioners were out by January 28th. I was one of them. But I was interviewed within the Giuliani Administration by the then Executive Deputy Commissioner of the Child Welfare Administration, a person who's still extremely active in the social welfare field, so I won't mention their name at this moment. And I consulted with a person who had been a high-level commissioner in the Mario Cuomo's administration and found a way to get himself to be probation commissioner within the Giuliani administration. He is also still very active. When I went to visit my former colleague, friend, the commissioner of probation, he told me, "Frank, if you get to work here, please do not go on vacation, because you won't know whether your office is going to be there when you get back." This was within the Giuliani administration. He said there are spies all over the place that he has in all the departments that will tell him whether people are towing the line. Giuliani was famous for, and he's not the only one, of administering and managing government through very few people as opposed to through the many commissioners and department heads that he may have. So, the other person, the executive deputy commissioner, said halfway through the interview, "Frank, I like you too much. I've got to tell you, it's really awful to work in this administration." Luckily, I wasn't as interested as in that particular position because it was Deputy Commissioner for Administration, which includes human resources, technology, etc. I'm more of a program person. But he let me know, because I had known him as a former high-level foster care executive, that this is not the best place to work in. In terms of Donald Trump, the affiliation needs that he has, and there are many qualities that we can look at with regard to personal power, achievement, and affiliation. I'm simply looking at the affiliation right now, because what are all these campaign events that he has, even though he's not necessarily running for office or re-election? Because they're all about him. Ostensibly, they are in support of a candidate that's running on the Republican ticket. Choose one of those. But basically, he wants everybody to take a look at him and just loves to be loved and liked. And whenever he needs a need, because it cries out to him that he's got to be liked and loved again, he schedules a campaign event and goes and gets accolades and screams and so forth and so on. High affiliation needs, among other things, that don't equate to being an effective leader. Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller's here because I would love to work for Robert Mueller if I had a law degree. It has been said that he has reached out to the best possible people to staff the prosecutor's office, special prosecutor's office. He's taken the best of the best in the different areas that he needs expertise in. Expertise which he may not have, but he's comfortable working with people that are experts in their area. Why? Because he's got a tremendous amount of confidence. He wants power, clearly. He's amassing this intelligence, but it's not for personal gain, it's for the institutional purpose that he has been asked to serve and conduct. He clearly has low affiliation needs. You don't see him on TV, on radio, on cable. Low affiliation needs. He wants power, yes, has power for organizational purposes, and he's obviously focused on achieving what he was asked and set out to do. Okay? And he's willing, because of his confidence and expertise and focus on the goal, he doesn't mind farming out to this Southern District and to the Columbia District, all of the various facets of his overall investigation, because he has that confidence. Robert Mueller, clearly, though I do not know him, is a model for an effective leader. And you can take that, whether you have bosses that you'd like to analyze through these 3 core principles of McClennand, or someone who's running for office. Do they seem to have a need for personal power as opposed to organizational power, common good power? Are they interested in personal aggrandizement with regard to achieving, or are they happy when they've achieved something like reducing infant mortality, increasing the skills of the workforce, whatever it is that they may be? I'm asking you to please take a look at this, and how does it work for you in looking at your work situation, in your role as a citizen in the upcoming campaigns, or even in terms of running for office. Thanks a lot.